It's the first time I'm doing this in such a short time constraint, but hopefully it's going to turn out okay. So a while back I wanted to work on social buttons for my website shields.io, which is a website in which you can download badges, and those badges you have probably seen because they appear on a bunch of websites, including GitHub. And the thing is, at the bottom of the page was this here, this sequence of 3 badges essentially, except that those are meant to be buttons. And the thing is, there is a tradition amongst social service providers to have exactly the same, the same design of the button. And this is the donate button, basically. And, I mean, it could have the same design as well. And I already provide a series of designs for the badges that I have, so I could simply add one, So I started digging, and I worked on the SVG to have something that looks like this. And the problem back then was that this image didn't show up. So basically this is, let me open it in a different thing. This is an image which has the whole SVG data inserted in base64. And it didn't show for a reason we're going to look in this video, right? Okay, so what's going on? Why doesn't it show this? But so it was a problem specifically on GitHub, right? And GitHub has a very special way of dealing with images from users. They use that thing called Camo. And you may have seen this, so I'm going to explore this a bit. You may have noticed that every time you paste an image inside of GitHub, you end up with a URL like this with Camo something, and then you have this something here, and then you have a slash, and then you have a bunch of stuff. So what does it actually mean? I dug up into the code because thankfully Camo is actually open source, and you can actually hack GitHub using their stuff. And it's just a simple repository, a CoffeeScript server, which can run like this. And the way it's designed is described here. You basically have your Camo server, and it accepts URL. The whole point of Camo, I should say that first, I don't know why I didn't. The whole point of Camo is to avoid having on the GitHub website, those warnings where it says, this is HTTPS, it's secure, but there is mixed content in the website. Because the images are over HTTP, not HTTPS. So what Camo does is every image is fetched by the Camo server and delivered over HTTPS. Even though Camo does have to fetch it over HTTP sometimes. And the way it does that is simply by having a URL in which it fetches a URL that is given in the URL, and it sends that. Now, in order to have a little bit more security, it also adds a digest of the content of the image, right? And this is basically a Mac message authentication system, which uses SHA-1, as you can see here. And this is the actual code. And it has a shared key that it uses for all of Camo, which of course we don't know, and we couldn't know, because this is in principle of, Macs. And the default one is like an obviously fake one, like Feed Face, Dead Beef Cafe or something. So the first thing I needed to do to test my local Camo server was to encode this URL, which I wanted to use, which is the actual thing that already worked and that showed the image because it's not hosted on GitHub. And do a HMAC of that URL and pasted it here. And then I needed to make it work so it showed an image. And I investigated why it didn't show an image. And the reason is, let me show you here, that in addition to all this, there are a couple of security measures, especially this content security policy that prevented images from downloading images, basically. And I added this bit right there, which allowed images inside of images when specifically they are loaded from a data URL, because it's not actually downloading anything from the internet, right? It's only all the data is stored in this garbage stuff. So it's not downloading anything, it's just loading the data from here. So once you load the image, you don't have to load something again. And by allowing this specifically, I gave the permission in a way to have SVG images inside of GitHub that had images in them. So that's the idea, and I made a PR. It got signed off by the security team, merged, and just to show you it's really that simple, it's just adding that. So that's it, and that's not finished either. I had an image that was working on GitHub. I needed to implement it so it worked inside of the system, which added a whole bunch of stuff because, of course, the image that I had here was specifically designed to have this logo with this width and so on. And of course, when you don't have a logo to provide, you don't want to have like the padding that is offset or anything like that, and so on. So I implemented all that in Shields.io, and I also added some default logos to show when we're actually looking for, I don't know, the number of forks or something like that. And I implemented that for this and that. And now I have the ability to generate images like that, which is kind of cool. But you may notice that I still didn't change that, and I will right now. So let me copy that. Right, so I have a server running. I suppose I can keep it running, it doesn't matter. I load up the website, basically. So this is the code for the website, you know. And let me see, this bit right here is the bit that shows the old badge looking donate stuff. And now it's going to look like, I'm going to link to this still. Actually, the website has changed name, so it's GratiPay now. /shields, and it's GratiPay shields. Let me just paste it in, actually. Up. Image shields.io stuff can be removed. And that should work. Donate to us. So that should work, right? So let me try it out. This is the actual website, so I have to load it on local port 1111. And if everything is right, it should load up. It's heating up, so the cache is not ready yet for the image to show instantly. Dum 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 dum. It should work. I hope it works. Right, so there we go. Follow Shields.io, donate, and fork. And if you click on donate, it goes here. which is unauthorized because GradiPay is currently changing stuff. But that is a story for another time. Okay, just to make sure. Yeah, it's okay. Right. So yeah, so basically I should regain control of this page someday, maybe, hopefully. Anyway, so that's it. And now you can have any badge you want that has this look and a logo if you want, or if you want you can have no logo. And I don't know, maybe I can like show you. Maybe it's not descriptive enough. You just have to say like badge. I am important. That doesn't actually matter. And you just have to say style equals to social. And there you are. And you can paste that in wherever you want. So thanks for watching, and see you next time, I suppose.